Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Ms. Weisenthal, Ms. Federico, can you please both confirm you're ready?
Ready. Same here.
Thank you.
I'm ready.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. We're on the record in proceeding number 24F-0365T. My name is, that doesn't sound right, does it?
TO, Your Honor.
Yo. Yep. Thank you. My name is Aviv Segev. I'm the administrative law judge assigned to this proceeding. It is now 2 p.m. on Monday, October 21st, 2024. This remote pre-hearing conference was scheduled by interim decision R24-0732-I, issued October 11, 2024. I would like to inform or remind the attendees that both the audio and video feeds of this proceeding are being webcast. This pre-hearing conference is also being recorded, and we have a court reporter who is transcribing everything that is being said. Let's please begin with entries of appearance. Mr. Smith, please introduce yourself, spell your last name for the record, and tell us on behalf of whom you're appearing.
Yes, my name is Anthony. Last name Smith, S-M-I-T-H. Can you hear me?
Yes.
And I'm proceeding on behalf of myself, pro se.
Very good, thank you. Mr. Valentine, please introduce yourself.
Hi, from the law firm of Keys and Fox, I'm Mark Valentine, and I'm here on behalf of Wyatt's.
Thank you. I scheduled this pre-hearing conference at your request, Mr. Valentine, to discuss the discovery protocol in this proceeding. So, Mr. Valentine, can you please tell me more specifically what you wanted to discuss?
Well, thank you, Your Honor. Thank you for scheduling this. There are really two things. One is the procedural schedule itself, and then I just want to be sure that the discovery protocols set forth in the Commission's rules are understood and their importance are understood, since this is a case where the complainant is representing himself, which is fine. Sometimes all of this gets a little bit lost. So I'd like to address the procedural schedule first. I am in a bit of a bind here because this case is scheduled to go to hearing on the 14th of November. I have a proceeding in Indiana for which I need to be in Indiana, scheduled for the following Monday, the 18th. And then I have a Supreme Court argument here in Colorado in a case involving the Commission, scheduled for the 20th. And so I am wondering, Your Honor, if you would be amenable to rescheduling the hearing dates in this case.
Well, let's first ask Mr. Smith, what is your position on Mr. Valentine's request to postpone? Oh, I'm assuming you want it a little bit later rather than earlier. Is that correct?
Yes, please, Your Honor.
Yeah, so thank you. So Mr. Smith, what is your position on Mr. Valentine's request to postpone the hearing by, I'm assuming, somewhere between 1 and 3 weeks or 4 weeks?
Okay, yes, Sean. So I oppose. I'm amicable with we having the hearing at an earlier date, but I oppose extending it past the 14th. It's been a considerable amount of time since my initial appeal has been filed. I have all my discovery that I need to try this or to even present this case. I understand this is addressing two specific tolls, if I'm not mistaken, although when I initially submitted my complaint, it was addressing 4 initial tolls by Wyatt's tolling. I don't know why those weren't presented. However, I have all the documents and all the information I need to proceed with this hearing as far as to get a resolution on whether or not these tolls were warranted You know, I'm ready. So I'm amicable. If we can, can we do it earlier than November 14th, Council?
Uh, well, I'll let Mr. Valentine respond to that request. What is your position with respect to Mr. Smith's request to make it earlier rather than later?
I can't do it, Your Honor. I still need to propound discovery in this case. The allegations in the complaint are actually fairly serious allegations. Mr. Smith alleges that the tows are racially motivated. Wyatt disputes that. We want our ability to conduct discovery preserved and to prepare for hearing, and it's just not enough time. So, I think that you suggested 2 to 3 weeks. That would suit me just fine. I think that this case could be heard the 25th or the 26th, the 26th or the 27th of November. That would be fine with me, and that would give me enough time to prepare.
You said 25th or 6th?
The 25th through the 27th would work for me, Your Honor.
25th to 27th. So, Mr. Smith, I understand that you're ready, but Mr. Valentine did present some extenuating circumstances for his inability to, practical at least, inability to be ready for a hearing by November 14th. I understand that you're ready. You also mentioned, Mr. Smith, let me ask you that. You said appeal. What did you mean by that?
Well, what I meant by that is when I initially submitted my complaint, this is actually addressing 4 on toes that Wyatt's there's only, I don't know why there's only 2 listed. I think there was
Two
one
listed
for
where?
in
Where
the
are
initial
those?
complaint that I filed with Dora. It's supposed to been a total of 4 instances where my vehicles were towed, but
Well,
it only addresses 2.
well, I'll just say that the complaint is the complaint, and whatever was filed is what we have in front of us. If you want to amend your complaint, you're more than welcome to do so. But that will have to be done through a motion, and
Understood.
Mr. Valentine will get the opportunity um, to respond, to either object or say that he does not, that it does not matter to him whether you amend the complaint. Uh, be that as it may, and perhaps even because of it, I'm inclined to uh, um, grant Mr. Valentine's request to postpone the hearing through. Let me see. I believe the 26th is a day during which the commission does not have any other hearings. It's Tuesday, November 26th. So I will grant Mr. Valentine's request to postpone the hearing. I will follow up on this with a written recommended decision following sometime in the next few days. But I am granting Mr. Valentine's request for a hearing on the 26th. I don't believe that there will be much or any harm to you, Mr. Smith, and I understand that you're ready, but you indicated that the complaint may not be complete, so maybe you're not ready. I'm not sure, but you can make a determination as to whether you want to amend your complaint, and I think so. I think we've resolved the first issue that Mr. Valentine wanted to discuss.
Well,
I'm sorry,
yes,
Mr.
Your Honor. The problem I have is my work schedule. I work for Kaiser Permanente,
Okay.
which is a medical company, and it's very, very difficult for me to get time off. I mean, I understand, I have a separate job other than, doing this legal stuff. So I was wondering if we are going to reschedule this, this initial hearing for November 26th, is there a way that we can do this either on a Friday? The reason being is because Fridays I do have days off. I'm going to need a considerable amount of time to put in a request for time off with my employer. That
Okay,
is the problem. It's not as easy for me to get these times off.
Understood, Mr. Smith. So let me ask you this, Mr. Valentine. How, I know it's not one of the days you suggested, but how does November 22nd look for you?
Um, I could do that, but I was hoping to have a little bit more time in between my oral argument on the 19th of the 20th and this case, simply because I need to get with my client, I need to prep witnesses, and so forth and so on. And I mean, if you want to set it for the 22nd, I'll do my best. That's what I could say. I'll try to do as much as I can, before I go to Indiana. But it's just a lot to ask. And I think
I
that
understand.
your point that there's no real harm to Mr. Smith. I want to accommodate his work schedule. I understand about that. And so, but just not, please not the 22nd.
Okay. All right. So I um just one quick second. Let me look at the calendar for just one more moment. And I will be right back. I'm still
Yep.
here, but I'm just reviewing the calendar and seeing what we might be able to do. Okay. Let me see here. There is another hearing going on, and I understand that it's about 3 weeks. But Mr. Smith, how does Friday, December 6th look for you?
That's fine.
That's fine. Okay.
Yes, that works for
Okay.
me.
So both parties are in agreement that the date of Friday, December 6th work. I'm asking you, Mr. Valentine, are you in agreement with Friday, December 6th?
I'm actually scheduled to be in a hearing, Your Honor, that day, but I can get coverage. I can get somebody to cover that for me. So let's make December 6th work, and that's fine.
Okay, and again, I think I heard you say yes, but just to make sure, Mr. Smith, this Friday, December 6th works for you, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So at least we got that taken care of. I'll just note it here, December 6th. Okay. Now, Mr. Valentine, what was the second issue you wanted to discuss?
I think, Your Honor, I just want to make clear that there are certain discovery rules in the Commission's rules of practice and procedure. And it's important for both parties that we be able to exercise our rights under the discovery rules. Mr. Smith has indicated that he's ready to go to hearing. Wyatt's is not ready. And we're going to be propounding discovery and perhaps taking depositions. We don't know. And this is designed in part to streamline the hearing, to make it efficient, and to be sure that both parties have the information they need for their cases. And so I suggest that all of the rules in the commission that the commission has promulgated regarding to discovery be the rules that govern this proceeding. That's the default, but sometimes they get modified. by the parties as far as response times and so forth and so on. So I just want to be sure that we're all on the same page here.
And I'll try to make sure we are. Mr. Valentine, do you have any special request, or do you just?
No, Your Honor. I think let's go with the rules as they are.
Okay. Mr. Smith, are you familiar with the fact that the commission has rules of practice and procedure that, among other things, govern discovery, govern the exchange of information before an evidentiary hearing? Are you aware of it?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'm letting you know that it does exist, and you can easily find them on the commission's website. And I would urge you to please carefully look specifically with respect to discovery at Rule 1405, 1405, okay? That should give you a good idea of how to go about discovery. You might also note in the rules that some of the rules that are incorporated into Rule 1405 of the Commission's rules are actually taken, borrowed, if you will, from the Colorado Rules of Civil Procedure. So I would urge you to look at those as well. Am I making sense, Mr. Smith?
I understand, Your Honor.
Okay, very good, very good. I don't know if I was very clear with my wording, so I just wanted to make sure. Again, I would urge you to look at all the rules, but specifically regarding discovery, Rule 1405. Mr. Valentine has already indicated that he will be propounding discovery, which is just another way of saying that he will be sending you questions, which you are, of course, are also more than welcome to do pursuant to the rules, specifically Rule 1405. Is that clear, Mr. Smith?
It's somewhat clear. I'm curious though, Your Honor, because there's two of these tolls, right, where there were no that they returned my vehicle to me. That I was not assessed any type of towing charge or fees. Is this the correct form to even present that? Because what I'm looking for is not per se. I'm looking for like compensatory and punitive damages for like common law and maybe statutory violations. This has nothing to do with any violations of any towing rules or procedures. The reason being is that I don't know. The only thing I know is that I was advised that in order to set this hearing is because it is a violation of of the towing rules and procedures. But the vehicles, I was never assessed any fines, any charges for two of the tolls. The, my my theory is that they were told, you know, based upon false information in the toll record invoices, which has nothing to do or not even addressable in the PUC rules. And the PUC rules does not provide a remedy for me as far as for compensatory punitive damages, as I'm aware of. That's what your website says. So maybe we can streamline that. The two tolls that I'm in reference to are going to be the toll that happened in September, and there's another toll that happened in November, which I will amend the complaint to add. But basically what happened was they wrongfully towed my vehicle, they admitted their mistake, and they returned my vehicles to me. So I don't know,
Okay.
is that something that can be addressed by your forum?
I cannot provide you with legal advice,
Okay.
Mr. Smith. So, and this is a purely legal question, what you just asked me. I'm sorry. Sorry, go ahead.
It's dealing with your jurisdiction, the jurisdiction of this forum. Do they have jurisdiction to address common law claims, or is it just jurisdiction to address, claims dealing with violations of the PUC rules and things of that nature? Because this has nothing to do with violations of PUC rules. Those two tolls. I'm just curious.
Well, I'll just say again, it might seem as though I'm avoiding giving you an answer. Well, I am avoiding giving you an answer, and that's because I'm not allowed to. I cannot give you legal advice. I would urge you to do two things. First, I believe Mr. Valentine is a pretty nice human being. So you might give him a call, and he might be able to help you some. Obviously, you have to understand that Mr. Valentine's role is to represent his client, which the complaint that you filed, Mr. Smith, is against that client. So you have to understand that he cannot he will probably he will not help you against the interest of
Correct.
his own client. The second thing you can do, but he may be able to provide you with general information. I don't know. The second thing you can do is who helped you, if anybody. I don't know if anybody helped you at the commission to file the complaint. Who helped you file the complaint, if anybody?
Absolutely nobody. I had to just,
Nobody.
yeah. Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
So sorry, go ahead, Mr. Valentine.
yes, I was just going to ask Mr. Smith, who suggested that you needed to file the complaint here? And I don't need an answer, but that's where I would go. Um, if it's not somebody at the commission who did, and that might be
And
the
again,
place.
Mr. Smith, I wouldn't, I don't want you to answer this question right now. But I think what Mr. Valentine is trying to say, maybe that person that suggested that you filed the complaint with the commission would have an answer as to whether this is the appropriate forum to file the complaint, as well as if another forum maybe a better one to address the issue that you have raised. Again, I would in fact urge you not to respond to Mr. Valentine's question right now, but
Yes, sir.
I do appreciate Mr. Valentine's question, because again, that person may very well be able to help you decide what to do next.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And the other thing, Mr. Smith, is as this proceeding progresses and more information becomes available to you and to me, we may be in a situation where the case gets dismissed through a motion or narrowed somehow or changed so that it's more appropriately before the commission if it's not now, or it gets dismissed because it's not, and then you can figure out where to go.
Right.
Thank you.
That's absolutely correct. And
Okay.
I know these are all, again, if you review the commission's rules, you might get a sense of, how things are litigated and work. So, if upon discovery it is determined that, I'm not saying that's the case, but that one of your claims that you noted in your complaint are not applicable to this form, for example, then Mr. Valentine may, if he so chooses, may file a complaint, a motion to dismiss this section or this claim that you have from the complaint, and then you will get the opportunity to respond to that, and so on. So again, it's very difficult to. You might either engage an attorney or talk to the person that suggested that you filed the complaint, and review the commission rules to determine what your next step might be. I cannot tell you. Mr. Valentine's cannot tell you. Mr. Valentine's can give you whatever information you might think is information that he thinks might be helpful to you. But again, I am reminding you that he cannot go against, and he cannot, and in all likelihood will not go against his client's interests. And again, your interests are in opposition to Mr. Valentine's client's interest. Mr. Valentine's client's interest.
Understood, Your Honor. Thank you.
Is there anything else either of you would like to discuss?
Not that I can think of, Your Honor, at this time.
All right. So what will happen next I will issue an interim decision memorializing the change of the postponement of the hearing to Friday, December 6th. And as far as discovery or any motions, again, I would urge both parties to refer to the commission's rules of practice and procedure to determine what they might do next. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Smith, thank you. Mr. Valentine, does that make sense?
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
Of course. All right. I appreciate you both appearing. And unless any unless one of you has last minute questions or clarifications. No?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Very good. Then we're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.